Hey turtle nerds, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I wanted to show you guys this mini pond that I incorporated into the entire ecosystem of my main pond. I want to show you how I built it, the current inhabitants of it, and some little tweaks that I made in order to make it perfectly adequate for juvenile terrapins, which was the purpose of this mini pond from the beginning. Now I know that I said that this week's video would be on the new addition to the pond, but she's still settling in actually and taking more time than any turtle that I've had before, but I think that it's a really good opportunity that I can go more in depth with next week when I make a video on the new addition. So what I have here is a 75-gallon Tough Stuff stock tank. Now Tough Stuff makes the 110-gallon stock tanks, and those are available at Tractor Supply. This one I was able to get on Amazon for about $145, which is twice the cost of the 110-gallon stock tanks, which I think is because it's sort of a special make. It's rectangular instead of being an oval shape, which the 110-gallon stock tanks are. So this mini pond was designed for hatchling and juvenile diamondback terrapins, or any turtles that I decide to keep in the pond that are too big to be in a smaller aquarium or a smaller tub, but too small to go in the big pond. Is that a gator? Oh, that's something. See that? There's a pipe that runs from the skimmer down here and into that waterfall box there, where there's plenty of filter material and filter pads, and it flows into the mini pond and then down into this little pipe, and then that little stand pipe goes up here and flows into the second stream and back into the pond. What I did was I zip tied a piece of screen onto the end of the pipe, and the reason for that is so that these juvenile terrapins that I have in here, there are 4 of them, don't get caught or sucked up into that pipe. If their arms or legs or anything got caught, it could cut off circulation, and then they would be in big trouble. So as previously stated, there are 4 juvenile diamondback terrapins in here. The first is Nilla. She is an ornate, well, he is an ornate diamondback terrapin. Nilla is actually looking to be a male. He is siblings with Coco, who's also an ornate diamondback terrapin. The 2 of them live here and are siblings that I got a couple months ago from actually one of my viewers who found them, and they were in a really bad situation, so I decided to take them in. Now almost a year later, and they are loving their life in this little mini pond. Coco is the next terrapin that I want to showcase that lives in my mini pond right here. If you look on his shell, there's yellow marks that are between the scutes of his shell. That's referred to as flowerback. That's a phenotype, or just a physical trait that is displayed in some ornate terrapins, but not all of them, especially when you look at Nilla, who's literally Coco's sibling, and Nilla does not have it, but Coco does, and that's on genetics. So then we have Mochi. Mochi is a northern diamondback terrapin expressing the concentric phenotype. So concentric is not a subspecies, it's just like a physical characteristic. And then also I have Crouton, who lives in here. They are both northern diamondback terrapins expressing the concentric phenotype. So in this little mini pond, in order to make it more homely and make the terrapins more comfortable, I've added 2 pieces of driftwood, some fake plants, and a basking platform in order to make the terrapins feel nice and safe. Young juvenile terrapins live in relatively shallow water for the first year to 2 years of their lives, so they fit in very well in this little mini ecosystem that I've created. Louis, stop. Open it up. Open the door. Come on. You could do it. You could do it. Come on. Good boy. So you can really see the growth on my juvenile terrapins since I've put them in this mini pond. They're doing extremely well given the natural lighting and natural environment that I've created for them. Normally at a year old, these terrapins would be a lot larger than they are now, but we had that whole incident with tapeworms, and now that that's over with, they're starting to pack on the pounds. So this little design was created so I could have sort of like a nursery for any younger or juvenile turtles that I decide to keep. The water in this little mini pond is the same water as in the big pond because it's all a recirculating system. The water is pulled directly from the big pond, filtered, is pumped into here, and then flows right back into... Do you mind? I drive a motorcycle, I'm compensating. Urkel, please. I don't have food for you, buddy. So the water is pumped from the main pond. It goes into that waterfall box, it's flowed into the mini pond, and then it flows into the stream where it then goes right back down into the main pond. I have this netting as well on top of the entire thing, so that way no birds or raccoons or anything, any icky nasties can come and take my little nuggets. Because these guys are way more prone to predation than the adult terrapins in the main pond. You know, it's much easier for something to pick up these little guys than those big adults. Here comes Crouton. Hi, buddy. So this little mini pond area, I literally built out of scrap materials. I had this tub laying around. I had extra PVC. I had an extra pump and an extra waterfall filter. All I needed to buy pretty much were the rocks. The liner I also had extra. So for about 60 to 100 bucks, I think it was, if you consider the costs for just the extra materials, I was able to make an entire new feature within an existing feature already. All I had to do was dig out the area, plumb an extra pump into the skimmer, and run the line into here, and then just make sure that this was a watertight seal that ran into this extra little stream. And so I'm feeding these guys dried shrimp, I'm feeding them Missouri aquatic turtle diet, dried mealworms, crickets, oysters, a lot of shrimp to be honest, krill treats, and anything that I can find up in the bog, including snails and any little crustaceans that I can find to supplement their diet as best as I can. And I also added some feeder fish into here. So check out this really cool underwater footage of the terrapins swimming around and enjoying those treats that I just previously mentioned. It's really cool getting a different perspective on this little pond. I've never really seen it from underwater before, and I think that this footage turned out really nicely. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can see some of my future videos. Hit the little bell notification thingy so you get notified when I make a new video. Shout out to all of my lovely, lovely patrons who help to make all of my videos possible. They help fund everything, and they are able to see a lot of my content before anybody else does. That includes on my Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They get to see it first. So head on over there if you want to support me so I can afford better haircuts. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.